We got to get serious for a moment here, guys, and I know some of you don't like my serious videos, so here's the deal. You help get President Trump reelected tomorrow, and then I'll go back to making fun and entertaining videos, and we can all have a good time for the next 4 years. But there's some important things that you and everybody need to know. The entire Democrat strategy to try to win this thing at this point is through the suppression polls and by demoralizing Trump voters, because they know that they're not going to be able to get very many people who support President Trump or who voted for him in 2016 to actually flip and vote for Joe Biden. But what they're hoping on is that they won't vote at all, that they'll stay home, that they'll be demoralized, that they'll believe the polls, that Trump's going to lose, so why bother even voting anyway? Don't underestimate the Democrat voters. They're very motivated and they're very upset. It's like if you have a horrible meal at a restaurant, you're not just going to pay the bill and go home. You're going to say something about it. You're going to do something about it. You're going to have them cook it again. You're going to get a refund. You're going to go on Yelp and leave a 1-star review. The Democrats are very unhappy customers, and they've been waiting 4 years to do something about it. And they're going to do something about it. And it's up to you to stop them. It's critical that you vote and you motivate 2 other people to vote, and a lot of Republicans didn't vote in the 2018 midterm, and look what happened. We lost the House and barely held on to the Senate, so the Democrats in the House had subpoena power for their bogus investigations, and then they failed at impeaching the president the first time and then did it the second. Do you want Section 230 of the Communication Decency Act amended so that we can legally stop the big tech companies from censoring us? We have to take back the House in order to do it. A lot of cities have early voting, so vote today if you can. Don't wait until the last minute because things happen. The last election, my fuel pump went out. Thankfully, it happened after I voted. Literally, I went to the polls, voted, came out, my truck wouldn't start. I had to call a tow truck and have it towed and get a ride back home. Obviously, if it would have failed just a few miles earlier, it would have been a much bigger problem. But you never know what's going to happen, and especially with social distancing, you may not be able to wait inside your city hall or inside the school gym or wherever you go and vote. You have to wait outside. There could be extra long lines around the block. There could be bad weather. So bring a chair, bring a backpack, bring some water, bring some snacks. Give yourself plenty of time. And don't think just because the polls were wrong last time that they're going to be wrong this time. Don't think that because Trump has huge rallies and boat parades and caravans that, oh, I'm sure he's going to win. I don't need to go and vote. There's plenty of people going and voting. You personally have to go and vote as if you are casting the deciding ballot. It all is up to you. I don't care if you break your leg, go to the polls and vote first and then go to the hospital. You have to vote as if it's just as important as paying your rent when you're 3 months behind, and if you don't make it, then you're going to get evicted or your house is going to get foreclosed. You have a deadline, you know what you have to do, you have to do it. Get your babysitter lined up, get ready to leave work early, plan ahead to get to the polls. And one more thing, and this is very important as well, there's a lot of things on the ballot that you can't vote for by voting straight Republican. Certain positions don't have a party affiliation. Not to mention a lot of the ballot measures have confusing language, and you may not have been following it. You may not want to sit in the voting booth and read through them, or maybe you don't have time to take your voter guide and read through them. So do a Google search for your local city Republican Party official voter guide. Or if you live in a small town or a small city, whatever the largest city is in your area, and they should have a voter guide with all the propositions, which ones to vote for, which to vote against, the judges, all the other positions that don't have a party affiliation. And you might be able to get these if you have a local talk show host that you listen to. A lot of them will have one on their website, so maybe go and check that. But very, very important. Not just to vote for the president and for the House, for the Senate races. You have to vote for your local candidates and local propositions as well. Very important. If Joe Biden wins, we're going to be stuck with President Harris because there's no way that he's going to make it halfway through his first term. And if the Democrats hold on to the House and take back the Senate, because we only have it by just a few seats, there will be nothing to stop them from ramming through their leftist, socialist, communist legislation. Not to mention we would lose the bully pulpit and they will ban President Trump from Twitter because he's going to be a private citizen again and they don't want him tweeting. A vote for President Trump is a vote to get the kids back in school, small businesses to reopen, to revitalize the American spirit and truly make America great again. There's a lot of political rhetoric every election about how it's the most important election of our generation, but not only is this the most important election of our generation, this is the most important political event since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We're just hours away from possibly losing this great republic and having the United States transform into something so horrifying it's worse than anybody can possibly imagine, and only you can save it.